I felt it before I heard it. The heartbeat of a place I knew I belonged. Where history's lived as much as it's made. And forward is the only way the wind blows. A place where the mind awakens as the body unwinds. Where all mankind can not only live, but thrive. I am the flutter in your chest, the chill down your spine, the voice in your head answering every whispered what if, with a roaring, why not? I am the spirit of possible, the spirit of Dubai. I felt it before I heard it. The heartbeat of a place I knew I belonged. Where history's lived as much as it's made. And forward is the only way the wind blows. A place where the mind awakens as the body unwinds. Where all mankind can not only thrive. Every whispered what if, with a roaring, why not? I am the spirit of possible, the spirit of Dubai. I felt it before I heard it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Vinit. Good afternoon, Pratik. You've really given me a head. How are we today?
Everyone's doing great, ma'am.
Okay, great to have you on board.
Thank you.
And sorry for all those that have been able to log in. We've been having some issues, and that's why we've been rescheduling the webinar. You know, we are not like that, and we hope the rest of the students will join us as we continue. This is MB Edu-Consults. MB Edu-Consult is an education consulting company, and I'm Mrs. Bello, Iyabo Bello. I'm the principal consultant of MB Edu-Consult. We've been into business since 2009, and we do admission into different countries. We are bringing on board today Next Academy of Management Education, and we have with us Mr. Vinit Rugani. Pratik has been on my neck, and he has finally had his way, and his team. That's for another day. So Mr. Vinit Rugani will be hosting us today, and like we put on the platform, if you have any question and every myth that is going on out there about Dubai, come with them, ask all your questions, and then so that Mr. Vinit and his team can make everything clear onto us today. Mr. Vinit, the truth is that there are a lot of myths and information out there about Dubai. Dubai is not giving Nigerian students visa. Dubai is not even issuing visas to Nigerians. Studying in Dubai is expensive, cost of living is expensive, and a whole lot more. And I would also appreciate, okay, you cannot stay back after studying in Dubai, you know, a whole lot out there. It will so be appreciated. We really appreciate it. One question, please, are we recording this? Because we would love to have it on our YouTube channel. Thanks. A whole lot of myths out there. And to be honest with you, since we have been having webinars, our marketing for Dubai, it's the response is very, very low compared to other countries that we do. So I hope with this webinar, we'll be able to break all those myths and have a clearer explanation, and people will have clearer mindset about Dubai and how easy and cheap it is to stay in Dubai. So Mr. Vinit, you can go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot, Miss Bello. Thanks a lot for that nice introduction, this generous introduction. And more importantly, a bigger thank you for hosting this webinar, for agreeing to do this. And I know it's a lot of pain to organize these things, to kind of reach out to students. And we've kind of postponed it once already. So thanks a lot for having this. Throughout my, whole presentation, I'll try and answer as much questions as possible through my presentations, but if I miss out on any, I'd request all the people who are watching us, firstly, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to wherever you are from. There are quite a few attendees and they're still joining in. So you guys are also free to ask any questions that you have live on the webinar. Our team is going to try and answer those. If not, after this whole presentation as well, you can reach out to Miss Bello and whole team at MB Edu-Consultant, and they'd be more than happy to help you out or assist you in anything with regards to Dubai or other universities, other places as well. I'll answer all the questions, especially that question, with Nigerians have is, are they allowed in Dubai? There is a misconception, there is a misinformation going around that Nigerians are banned or Nigerians are not allowed in Dubai. So I'll be answering those and answering those with proofs for you guys to kind of see things. And I'll be taking questions one by one. So let's start with all the questions that normally students have, and I'll keep on trying answering as much as possible. But surely you can still keep on asking on the Q&A question. So my first question that normally comes to us is this one. Can you see the screen, ma'am, properly? Just wanted
Yes,
to
I can.
Okay, perfect. So the first question that people ask us is, what about Dubai? Why is studying in Dubai beneficial? Can you tell us something about Dubai? Because we've not heard of Dubai as a place to go and live in. So, firstly, a few statistics, a few, socio-economic rankings that Dubai or UAE in general is about. Firstly, UAE is the second safest country in the world. It's the third richest country in terms of GDP per capita. For all those who are looking at prospective employment job opportunities over there, in the year 2018-19, it had the world's highest employment rate anywhere in the world. So it had the world's lowest unemployment rate. So apart from that, Dubai ranks in the top 10 international cities, in terms of attracting foreign investment. It connects the East and the West. Everyone knows Dubai for its five-star airlines, the Etihad, the Emirates of the world. So that way, Dubai is kind of known to everyone. There is somebody, I think I will just, yes, okay. Sorry for that, ma'am. I think there was somebody who's not mute and kind of putting his ringtone on. So yeah, as coming back to a few statistics about Dubai, Dubai is one of the safest countries. It's one of the world's highest GDP per capita. It had the world's highest employment rate anywhere in the world. It connects the East and the West, and that is why Dubai is one of the most visited cities on planet Earth as well. So all in all, if you look at all the socio-economic rankings, those parameters which are kind of accredited by UN bodies, Dubai is up there, or UAE is up there in the top 10, top 20 socio-economic rankings. When I say what is the other question which people have about Dubai, it is about they asking us what are the qualifications that you're going to be offering, what are the, can you tell us more about business school? Because traditionally, Dubai has been known as a place for tourism, as a place for shopping. People like to go over there for its hotels, but not many know that Dubai has become a big hub for international education. The place that you see currently on your screen, called the Dubai International Academic City, that's one of the largest tax-free education zones anywhere in the world. It houses 21 universities. Every year, 30,000 plus students from 60 different nationalities, mostly from Asia and Africa. They come over here to study higher education. Even the Ministry of Education, the Dubai Education Regulator called the KHDA, is based over here at this premises itself, this conglomerate, this tax-free education zone itself. As regards to the programs that we are offering, programs at Nest Academy, we're offering programs both at the UG and the PG level, but all our programs revolve around the pillars of Dubai economy. Things which are more Dubai, what is known for, Dubai is known as a tax haven. There are no income tax, no direct taxes over here. So employees or companies, they don't have to pay any taxes. So that's why business management is very big, because many big business houses have their business headquarters over here, their Asia head offices, their Middle East head offices, and things like that. Hospitality management, everyone knows Dubai for its 5-star, 7-star hotels. So hospitality management is but obvious, it's going to be big. Events management, sports management as well. There are many global sporting events happening over here. In fact, one of our campuses, a sports and event management campus, which is there at a sports stadium, a proper 30,000 plus capacity sports stadium where we have our classrooms as well. Currently, there is a big cricket tournament happening of international players coming down over. So, it's Dubai is known for its lifestyle, for its luxury, and wherever luxury is a synonym, sports and events is a big part of the normal general lifestyle over here. For the geeks, we have the computing IT program. For films and media program for the Hollywood buffs, there are many movies shot over here. Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible. Dubai is also the MENA region, the Middle East region media headquarters. So Dubai is known for that as well. Teacher training is another program that is very popular. We are accredited by prestigious UK awarding bodies, namely the Pearson, the Awards for Training and Higher Education, the Confederation for Tourism and Hospitality. And apart from that, we are also licensed by the Dubai's education regulator called the KHDA. So that has also allowed us, that has also licensed us to kind of give higher UK qualifications in Dubai. So this is something about us, the qualifications that we are offering. Normally people ask us, okay, UK methodology, you told about that UK qualifications that you are offering. So how is UK methodology beneficial for us, and can you highlight it how it is good for the students? So firstly, when we talk about education, we talk about quality, and we talk about quality, we talk about trust. So that is where the difference is in the UK methodology. That is why even a small island, if you look at from a world perspective, UK is just a small island, but thousands of students, rather millions of students go there every year to study UK education. And that is why UK has expanded its boundaries and is giving UK education in many other countries as well, including Dubai. So UK methodology or UK qualifications have a blend of theoretical background and of the practical needs that is required practically on the ground. So that is why it is very famous for its education. It's earlier, in Asia and in Africa in general, the education system is more towards rote learning, towards the theory part of it. But UK gives equal emphasis on the practical training part of it as well. And that is why its teaching methods qualify in 3 parts. One is the practical task. So you are actually required to do things practically to understand an in-depth knowledge of how it happens in reality. Second is case study. So not everything you should, learn from your own mistake. There are people who have done that in the past. So you can learn from those case studies, things which have been done in a wrong manner or in the right manner. But those case studies is also very important. And that is the second pillar of the UK methodology. And lastly, it is the research-based training method. A lot of emphasis is on the research part of it. During even your assessments, a lot of emphasis is based on plagiarism part of it. So you're not allowed to copy things just on the Google and kind of submit your assessments. There are softwares which kind of test your assignments as to their original or not. So, there is a lot of emphasis on the practical part of it, and that is why UK methodology or UK qualifications are way superior than any other education system anywhere in the world. And they say that you cannot read a book if you do not know the alphabet. And management is a whole lot of, it's like an encyclopedia. So, you're in the UK examination system, you don't have your typical examination, no question answer format, no overnight reading, no rote learning format. It's more assignment driven. It's more how your in-depth understanding is of the whole subject. And that is why there is such amount of emphasis on the practical training part, because especially like sports management, event management, if you only learn that in theory, if you learn that only in the classroom, you'll not be able to understand how it is done practically on the ground. And that is why equal emphasis is based on theory apart from the practical training part of it as well. People ask us, okay, can you give us a snapshot? Can you just highlight what are the benefits for the students? if they study, at Nest Academy or come to Dubai. So I'll just give you a brief highlights, and then I'm going to explain each of these parts in detail, in depth. So firstly, we are a UK business school in Dubai. Like I said, we're offering UK qualifications. These are progression pathways to earning bachelor's and master's degree from University of Bolton, their UAE campus. If the students complete all their years in UAE, they can take the honors degree from University of Bolton, their UAE campus. If not, students also have of taking a transfer to any of our partner universities. We have 30 plus partner universities in US, Canada, Australia, UK, France, Finland, many of these countries. The students can take a transfer to any of these countries at a partner university and complete the honors degree over there. The two biggest challenges which students from Asia and Africa face when they apply abroad is, one is they don't qualify in the IELTS band required. IELTS band of 6.5 that is required in many countries and many universities. In our case, IELTS is exempted. There is no minimum IELTS band required. We do have an admissions test. We do have an admissions round where students are tested on their English understanding skills, because all our lectures are delivered in English, but that's the only requirement that is there. Student visas, again, an important point. When students apply to UK, Canada, Australia, all these countries, they face a lot of rejection. The rejection rate is very high in many of these countries. They have to submit complex documents, bank statements, show money, a lot of these things. In case of UAE, in case of Nest Academy, the college is going to be sponsoring your visa. It's going to be sponsoring your visa. So visas are not your headache. Visas are not the student's headache. It's our headache. It's as good as the visas are guaranteed. They're certain. In fact, you need not even go to the UAE embassy in your home country. We process the visas at our end in Dubai and send you the visa copy, and you can travel down, over here to Dubai and complete all your formalities like medical test, biometrics once you are there in the country. Another important point is part-time work permit. People in many countries, the students are not allowed to work part-time because many students, when they go abroad, they realize that the standard of living and also the cost of living is very high. So they ideally want to work part-time and at least cover their cost of living or support their parents to getting some pocket money by their own earnings. So in UAE, in Dubai, that is totally legally possible. You are allowed to work 36 hours in a week, 36 hours in a week, 6 days in a week, 6 hours a day. So that's 36 hours in a week. You are legally allowed to work. In fact, programs like sports management, event management, I said that in the beginning as well, that, these programs, you can't just learn only in the classroom. You have to go there practically on the field. And that is why college, from our side as well, we do provide a lot of internship opportunities to the students. These are both paid and unpaid. Students are free to choose these or look out for something on their own as well. But yes, students are legally allowed to work part-time. And I'll be explaining this part of the whole format of work permit. That is, you get an authentic card from the government that you are legally allowed to work. It's not that you are doing any odd jobs on cash basis. So that I'll be explaining in detail at the later part of my presentation. Ma'am asked a very relevant question, asking questions which are there on the tips of the tongue of the students. One is stay back. What are the stay back options for students? This is a common notion that once you study in Dubai, you have to go back to your home country after you complete your degree, after you complete your education. There are no stay back options. There are no permanent residency options. So no, that is again a wrong notion. There are multiple stay back options. There is also one permanent residency options. I'll be highlighting on those parts of it as well in the latter part of my presentation. The first thing, when I give you a highlight or a snapshot in my previous slides about Nest Academy, about Dubai, first thing the student want to ask is, how can we migrate to other countries? How can we go to other countries? How does this credit transfer system work? Will I be, appearing for all the years again in the partner university, or will my number of years that I have studied in Dubai would be counted off? So firstly, this is how the credit transfer system of UK works. So that is the magic of the credit transfer system of UK qualifications, that you can study a couple of years, especially if you're in the bachelor's, you can study a couple of years here or 3 years here, and then in the last year take a transfer, or in the second last year take a transfer to any of our partner universities. We have partner universities in US, in the state of Michigan, called the Northwood University. In Canada, we have Crandall University in New Brunswick province. Most of our partner universities are in the UK itself, because we are a UK business school, so that is but natural. But we also have partner universities in Australia, in Ireland, in France, in Finland. Students can take a transfer to these universities in these countries and also avail the benefit of post-study work visa in these respective countries. So like in Canada, if they study with us 2 years in Canada at Crandall University, they get 3-year post-study work visa. Similarly, in UK, if they study with us, in Dubai for 2 years, and last year in UK, they get 2-year post-study work visa. Even if they would have studied for 3 years, they would have still got 2-year post-study work visa. Now, there are multiple benefits of the credit transfer system, and student can avail of these. Apart from these, for our hospitality management programs, we have more partner universities and more partner countries available. Even Switzerland and Singapore is an option available over here. So that is how students can avail this benefit of the credit transfer system. Okay, so this is a common question that is coming these days. This is a question which has been added only in this year. Is what about COVID? What are the challenges being faced by students and how can we overcome it? Should we come now? There are many apprehensions in students' mind, in parents' mind, as to should they study abroad now or they should postpone their education, because studying abroad is serious investment. Will they be able to recover their cost? Are visas options available over there? Are they allowed to work after they complete their studies? Because many countries, you have this rhetoric, especially a certain politician telling we don't want students from other countries. If they're going to be studying online over here, we'll not even give student visas and things like that. So a lot of apprehensions in students' mind. But what we are telling our students that, you are not alone who's facing this. The whole world is going through the COVID crisis, and now slowly things are opening up. In fact, in UAE, in Dubai, things were open up as back as 7th of July, even for tourists, not just for students. For students, they were never closed. But even for tourists, back from 7th of July onwards itself, the borders were open, the international borders were open. So students should not have these worry that only they are facing this problem. Actually, the whole world is facing this problem. So the real questions that you should be asking about is how to ensure that are you industry ready and employable in the world after COVID? Because the world after COVID is going to be dramatically different to what it was previously. Earlier, people just used to aspire to work for the big companies, and not many people were looking at startups. What bigger example I can take of than this platform called Zoom itself, where a couple of years back, not many of us had even heard about it. Today, its valuation is more than $64 billion, and now that's become a way of life. Zoom has become a way of life. So these companies, these startups like Zoom and others, they're not just looking for degrees. Degrees or education qualification has now become the byproduct. It's now not the main product. The main product has now shifted to your versatility, to your skill sets, because they're looking for people with passion, from versatility, with skill sets, because that is the need of the hour. Many companies are moving to hiring specialized generalists. By specialized generalist, I mean somebody who's a specialist in one particular area, but also has the general skill set, also has the general knowledge. And that is why when we talk about sports, events, hospitality, we're not just saying sports or events, we're talking about sports management, event management, because management gives you an overall perspective, builds your general skill sets as well. Because these days, people are looking to hire 1, 2, 3. So hire one person, pay him the salary of 2%, but expect the work of 3%. This has become a trend these days. And people are looking, when students come to us, they ask us what job opportunities or what placements are we going to get after we complete our education. So we tell them that this is not the right question, my friend. You should be asking us rather what internship opportunities, what work opportunities I'm going to get during my education, not after my education. Because after your education, when you go out there in the job market, companies want you to be productive from day one. They don't want to hire any freshers. And it's an irony. When I say somebody, studying his graduation, he's obviously going to be a fresher. But companies are looking at experienced fresher. Even though you were just a graduate, they're looking at your work experience as well. And that is why we are telling people that you should be targeting that at least 80% of your CV is your work experience, even though you're just looking at graduation. And that is only going to be possible when you have a kind of a balance between theory, what you study in the classrooms, and also of the practical exposure that you get. And that is where colleges like, or business schools like us, are coming in the forefront, because the evolution of an employee has changed. Earlier, people used to go to companies 9 to 5, work on company laptops, company office equipment. But now people have to work from the comforts of their home, working 24/7, even from your mobile phone. So it's now changed from input driven method to output driven. What output you are giving to company doesn't care if you're working for 6 hours, 10 hours, if you're working from your home or if you're working from any vacation holiday place as well, as long as you are providing the output. So that is very important in this point. So I got a little carried away with all these questions, but this is an important point, especially with regards to COVID. Because of COVID, a lot of challenges are being faced with many students and a lot of apprehensions are there. That's why I emphasize on these points that COVID is not just for you alone or one particular country alone. It is there for the whole world. So everyone is battling with it and everyone is preparing themselves, to be ready in the post-COVID world, which is it's starting to open up as well. So, people say, okay, you've spoken enough if I want to be a prospective employee. But what if I want to start up my own company? What if I want to have my own startup? Does Dubai give me opportunities for those? Does Dubai allow me for those? So yes, there are two aspects to it. One is the policy aspect, one is the environment aspect. I'll focus on both. Dubai does provide you an opportunity. In fact, Dubai government is very supportive of startups. It's inviting startups. In fact, it has 39 incubators, the highest in the MENA region, the Middle East region, of any number of incubators where they encourage startups, they help startups in their teething problems. Not only that, they also have a startup visa called the freelancer visa. For students who are looking to start up their own company, they need not be worried as to, because it's a foreign land. So how will I be staying over there? There is something called as a freelancer visa for people who want to start up their own company and work for themselves rather than working for any other company. Especially in programs like sports management, event management, you don't necessarily work with one company alone. You work on project basis. For some projects, you're with this company. Then after the project is over, you work for some other company. So then you can be on this freelancer visa, the consultant visa, and kind of take your work forward. So that is the policy aspect. But more important is the environment aspect, especially in today's time. The environment aspect where you have your customer sitting in Japan, your boss might be sitting in Germany, and you might have an American company whom you're catering to. Three different parts of the world, totally different psychology, totally different cultures. A Japanese is a very disciplined person. He has an eye for punctuality. A German has an eye for dexterity. He likes to look at things in details. Whereas an American company looks at the whole world as its market. It's not just limited to one particular place or one particular country only. It looks as the whole world as its market. And where better you can understand these cultures, these thought processes, rather than being exposed to them. UAE has 140 different nationalities. In fact, at our Nest Academy, up till last year, we had 23 nationalities. Every year, we add a couple of nationalities on the minimum. So up till last year, we had 23 nationalities. So you get to, kind of interact on a daily basis with these many nationalities, with these many people. And this kind of gets your understanding going of what all opportunities are there in which countries, because certain countries are 5-10 years ahead of you. Certain countries are 5-10 years behind you. So you get to understand where are the challenges, where are the opportunities, and where you can come up with a solution. And that is what all startups are about, finding a problem and delivering a solution. That is what could become your company motto. So, UAE is that way a great place for you to be exposed to the world and kind of see where are the opportunities lying. Then another question comes across, okay, you talk to us about permanent residency. Does UAE provide us permanent residency, and what are these options? So firstly, there is something called as the golden visa, the golden card, more on the lines of green card that you have in the US. This is like a permanent residency visa, 10-year, 5-year permanent residency visa, which is automatically renewable. This is granted to specialist investors, inventors, entrepreneurs, outstanding students. By outstanding students, I mean students who have a GPA of 3.75 and above. In the calendar year 2019, they had given these golden visas to 6,800 people from 70 different nationalities. So it is not just limited to 4 or 5 nationalities only. It's kind of to 70 different nationalities. So all of you, especially from Africa and Asia, do have a very good chance of getting these. But this is only for the outstanding students. Let's be realistic. Not all the students are going to be outstanding. What is the options for all the other students? So for all the other students over here, these are the stay back options that you have. Firstly is the employment visa. Employment visa is what 99% of the foreigners living over here, they live on an employment visa. That's a very normal thing here. People live for decades on an employment visa. It's not as difficult to get a employment visa like it is in the United States or in the UK. Here almost, like I said, 99% of the foreigners living over here are on an employment visa. Second option is a freelancer visa, the startup visa, which I already spoke to you about in my previous slides. Another option is a job seeker visa. After you complete your degree, you get a time of 6 months where you're on a job seeker visa to find a full-time employment and move to an employment visa. And lastly, a student visa extension for students who take more time to complete their education. Let's assume if you're completing your 3-year or your 4-year bachelor's in 5 years, then even in those cases, student visa extension is easily possible without any additional tuition fee. It's only the visa extension charge that you have to pay. So, if for students who even take gap years in between, student visa extension is easily possible. So don't worry on that. So these are the options that you have in terms of stay back after you complete your education. Okay, so people then ask, okay, you've discussed multiple visa options. Can you explain the procedure for acquiring visas and part-time work permit? So yes, firstly, like I told you that visas are not your headache. Visas are our headache. You need not give any bank statements, no proof of money, no bank statement, no complex documents. In fact, you need not even go to the UAE embassy in your home country. We process the visas at our end in Dubai. We send you the visas. You fly down to Dubai and complete all the formalities. So that is the entry permit which we send to you. It's a resident visa, not a tourist visa. Student resident visa, and the sponsor name is Nest Academy of Management Education. After which you fly down to Dubai, you do your medical test and biometrics once you are there in the country. So your visas can be rejected only on 2 medical grounds. One, in case you have tuberculosis, TB. Second, in case if you're tested HIV AIDS positive. Only in these 2 grounds are your visas rejected medically. Even if you have COVID, it's just a mandatory quarantine period that you have to go through if you are tested COVID positive. If you're negative, then you are free to go anywhere you want. So that way the process is very simple, is very forthcoming. Then you get your visas and Emirates ID done. Your Emirates ID is like the social security card we have over here, after which you can apply for a driving license, open your own bank account as well. So the process is very simple. In this whole process takes around 45 to 60 days, completing your medical test, biometrics, getting your Emirates ID. After which, your medical insurance with the college also starts, because we are providing health insurance to the students, including the government visa fees that is there. But that starts after you get your Emirates ID. During this time, you can look out for jobs. Once you get jobs, you can ask the college for an NOC, a no objection certificate. This is required mandatorily by the government rules, without which you cannot work, because you are on a student visa, a college sponsored student visa. So an NOC, a no objection certificate, is required from the college, which we give out to all the students, but it's part of the process. After which your work permit is generated. Your work permit looks like this. So you are registered with the government. You're registered with the government, the Ministry of Labor, and you're working legally. And it's not that you're working on cash basis on any odd jobs. You're working legally, authentically over here as well. There are questions, coming in from students, and one important question I think students are asking, and that's a relevant one. So I'll answer that first. Is, Nigerian students, are they allowed over there? People are not sure if Nigerian students are allowed. Since I'm already on the visa part of it, I'll take this question. I'll show you something which will answer your question automatically. I'll show you rather a couple of things. So this is a visa of a Nigerian student generated on the 12th of October. This is a student. I'll also show you one more. So this is a student visa, a student resident visa, and the sponsor name is Nest Academy of Management Education. So this is a student visa from Nigeria for a Nigerian nationality, issued on 15th of October, just a few days back. In fact, I would rather have one more. So we already have started getting student visas, and that had never stopped. But this has been an assumption in many people in Nigeria, that Nigerians are not getting student visas over here. So another student visa for another student from Nigeria. All these are Nest Academy students. I'm not showing you any general visas. These are Nest Academy student visas that I'm showing you. And these have been issued in this week itself. So, no better way than me showing you actual proof. I can say anything I want, but what I'm showing you is actual visa copies of students. So that is the most authentic proof that I can show you of as to there is no restrictions on Nigerians or are there any particular nationality. We have students from 23 different nationalities. In fact, many of our Nigerian students have already started flying in for our October intake. So that is already open. It's already working over here. So students need not be worried and should not fall for any false propaganda that is going on in many circles that Nigerians are banned or even tourists they are open for. We've had students, parents coming in over here for the orientation from Nigeria, and that is completely possible. So that is hopefully I've taken care of that question, ma'am. Since you also asked this, and we've been getting this question quite a lot. So another question is, can you tell us about the admission process, the eligibility criteria for applying in Nest Academy? So students should be grade 12 minimum, A level, for them to apply for any of our bachelor programs. If they are grade 10 pass, then they have to do 1 year extra of integrated foundation program, and then they qualify for the bachelor program. If they're applying for any of the postgraduate program, the master's program, then they have to be any graduate from any recognized university in their home country. The minimum age is 17 years. That is required. There is no maximum age on our side, but beyond a certain limit of 30s, we kind of take it on a case-to-case basis to see that there is a genuine student there at the other end. But below that, there is no problem because we process the visas at our end at the immigration in Dubai. So we have to answer them as well, and that is why this whole process is there. I hope I've answered the eligibility criteria question. Another important question comes to us is, will you guarantee us jobs? Will you give us jobs? This is a normal thing which students ask us. So firstly, I would like to put this on record to say that we are not a manpower agency. We are not a human resource agency. We are a business school. We are a college. We are an education institutions. We are providing students education qualifications, opportunities. So we do not guarantee jobs, but yes, we do help students in a lot of ways, getting job opportunities here, getting placement opportunities, not only applying for interviews, but even how to appear for interviews. So we have a placement cell which kind of regularly flashes job opportunities for students, but they also help students in how to prepare for interviews, be it like how to appear for an interview, what are the soft skills required, how to prepare your CV, because we understand a grade 12 student doesn't know all these things, so he requires that hand holding which our placement cell takes care of. And that is why currently 80% of our students are placed on a paid basis. They are working on a paid basis. On an average, students are earning $400-500 a month. They're working, 80% of our students are currently working at all these companies that you see on the screen. The students are free to kind of choose whatever they like to. Either they can take the help of a placement cell or kind of look out for their own, but we do not guarantee them jobs. Students should be mindful of this fact when they come over here and don't have any wrong expectation that we are going to give them jobs straight away. We're going to give them opportunities. We're going to give them placement opportunities, interview opportunities, but then it's on students' capability as well as to how he or she performs. I'll rather show you one small video of our students interning at various places. That would give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Just give me a minute. So that was a small video of our students, our event management, sports management students who have been interning at different places. So coming back to our questions, so next question which comes to us is, where are students going to be staying, where their classes are going to happen? Can you show us the campus, the accommodation, things like that? So firstly, our main campus is based at the Dubai International Academic City. In Dubai, it works in a different format where it's a cluster system, where at this whole academic city, there are multiple higher education providers here, and the KHDA, which is the Dubai Education Regulator, allots them teaching learning spaces. So their teaching learning spaces are their own private, but rest all the facilities, be it cafeteria, where you have the best of the brands in the world, be it the Starbucks, the Papa John's, the Subways of the world, or the auditorium or the sporting facilities, are shared between all these higher education institutions. So this is where we are also based out of, but we do have others. So these are our picks of our teaching learning spaces, the library, the lab area, the classrooms. But this is one campus. We have three other campuses. One is at the sports city, which I mentioned in the earlier part. It's at a sports stadium itself, where we have multiple classrooms in a sports stadium, at where there is also the headquarters of the International Cricket Council. Currently, there is a big tournament going on, big cricket tournament going on in that stadium. It has a capacity of 30,000 plus, and multiple sporting events go over there. So what better place for a sports or an event management student to learn about sports and event management, rather than at a place itself where you're going to be having all these events, those big events happening. So our Dubai Sports City campus is there, where students get first-hand exposure of it. Next is the Production City campus, where our events management, our films and media students get an exposure of the green room, the editing suites, the voice recording studio. So all these are actual pics that you see currently on your screen. For our hospitality management, we have tied up with one of the largest chain of hotels called the Fakhruddin Group, where students get to have their hospitality management lectures at the live hotel site itself. You get to see how a housekeeping setup is done, how a restaurant setup is done, how a reception setup is done, things like that. So that gives them a first-hand exposure of what it is to be live at a hotel site itself. So these are the campuses that we have in terms of their teaching learning environment. As regards to their accommodation, I'll be showing you other just things as well. I have another thing to show you where our accommodation campuses are. Okay, so I'll be showing you student accommodation. So this is the student accommodation. There are two types of student accommodation. One is exclusively for Nest Academy students. This is that is there in just $300 a month, and all-inclusive accommodation. It's 2 or maximum 3 sharing in a room, where you have everything included. You have your fully equipped kitchen, your washing machine, your refrigerator, everything is taken care of. So in just $300 a month, you get to avail these facilities. In fact, even transportation is covered in these facilities in just these $300 as well. It's but only for Nest Academy students, and there are limited occupancy options available. There are just 150, 200, bed spaces available in these. So we suggest to students that they should kind of avail of these facilities. If they are choosing to stay at the college accommodation, that they should avail of these facilities as soon as possible, especially for our October and February intake, where you have maximum number of students coming in. So these accommodations are full, a month or two previously itself. So we tell these to our students, but we also have other student accommodation options, which are not only for our Nest Academy students. These are other third-party accommodations, where there are students from other universities as well. These are little more luxurious, but their prices are also a little higher. It starts from $400, $450 a month and goes anywhere up till $1,000, $1,100. But these are more luxurious. You have your temperature control swimming pool, a whole theater itself for the students of these accommodations. So these are different types of accommodations that you have for students who can avail this kind of luxury, can afford this kind of luxury. They are free to choose those, or they can choose our accommodation. For these other accommodation, these third-party accommodation, their capacities are way higher. It's more than 2,000 plus. So there are not much of problems in terms of capacity. But at our accommodation, we suggest to students that they should try and kind of book their spots as early as possible. So this is in terms of accommodation, that these are some of the pics. All these are actual pics that I've been showing you up till now. All these are actual pics that are there of our accommodation. So then comes the question as to what are the tuition fees, the most important question, what are the tuition fees of the business school? Can you give us a breakdown? So our tuition fees after COVID scholarships, currently for our October intake and for our February intake, we have handsome COVID scholarship, because of which of more than 50%, because of which the tuition fees, especially for our 4-year bachelor programs, are just $4,500. The visa and medical cost is another $1,200. And if a student lives over here on a modest basis, he can easily cover his cost of living in $4,000. So the total cost to a student is little less than $10,000, around $9,700. But this is his cost. He can work part-time and easily cover here anywhere between $3,000-4,000 up till $10,000. Like I said, on an average, our students are earning $400-500 a month. So even in that case, the student is easily able to cover his cost of living, get a little bit of more pocket money for himself as well on an average scale. For students who are more industrious, who are more capable, they can also earn a little more and even cover a part of their tuition fee as well. Now, when I say about this, let's take an example where you are going to UK, where you're going to Canada, Australia, US, and a student on an average is spending anywhere between 25 to 35,000 US dollars in total cost, including his tuition fee, including his cost of living, including his visa charges. In normal times in UAE, they would be spending 10-15% less, not too much, less, but a little less than that. But because of the COVID scholarship that we are offering, the student can complete the same UK university degree in UAE at 1/3 the cost. At 1/3 the cost he can complete. So let's take an example. If a student is going for a bachelor program to UK, he's spending 30,000 into 3, $90,000 to get a UK university bachelor degree. He can get the same UK university bachelor degree in 1/3 the cost. But you would say he doesn't get the post-study work visa in UK because he wants to earn in UK. And normally students actual earning start after their education. During their education, anywhere in the world, they are hardly going to be covering their pocket money or their cost of living. Their actual earning starts after they complete their education. So if a student likes Dubai, he likes the job opportunity, the standard of living over here, he can complete all his years in Dubai. If not, if he has that charm, if he has that inclination to go to UK, to Canada, to US, he can take a transfer in the last year to our partner university and complete his degree at half the cost and still get the same amount of post-study work visa. Still get 2-year post-study work visa, even though he's doing just his last year in the UK. If he does 2 years with us, 2 years in Canada, he gets 3-year post-study work visa. So students can avail the same benefit in half the cost. There is significant cost saving. And more importantly, cost is one aspect. More importantly, especially in today's time, is hedging your risk. Covering your risk, reducing your risk. That is an important part, because you have many countries where there is massive unemployment because of COVID. Many countries are crying that we want jobs only for our own people. We won't give jobs to outsiders. And when somebody is going abroad, he's going there from a career perspective, a life choice. He's not just going there to study and come back. He wants to stay there for life, if not at least for a few years, and at least recover the cost, the investment that he or his parents have made in their education. So how can you do that when there is a lot of uncertainty in many of these countries? You don't even know what's the scenario, what's the job scenario going to be after you complete your education. Is Canada going to be issuing the same amount of PRs? These days people are going to Canada because Canada was issuing a lot of PRs before COVID. Is it going to be issuing the same amount of PRs after COVID? Is Mr. Trump going to get re-elected? What is he going to be having in terms of policy environment? So there is a lot of uncertainty. Whereas you look at US, whereas you look at other countries where there is a lot of uncertainty, and you look at Dubai, you look at UAE, there is visa certainty. There is ease of coming over here, ease of access. There is 140 different nationalities, so they're accepting everyone from any corner of the world. here you have the option of staying and completing your education at 1/3 of the cost, or you also have the option of taking a transfer in the last year to any of the partner universities and getting a multi-country degree, a multi-country exposure, multi-country exposure on your CV, thereby increasing your worth as well. So there are these multiple opportunities, multiple advantages that you have, especially in current times where there is a lot of uncertainty in traditional study abroad destinations. So students can avail of these opportunities, and they can avail of these benefits as well. Um, by this, I think I come to the end of my presentation. The normal question and answer that students would have. There are a few other questions which students have also asked, so I'll try and answer those as well. So yes, I'll answer those. My friend, Mr. Julius, he's been asking after the admission, do I have to pay 100% of the tuition fee before the class starts? No, my friend, there are installment options. You pay a certain amount of fee along with the visa fee upon admission, then you pay a certain amount of fee before you fly, and rest. You pay in easy installments. We have installments on January. For our October intake, the last two installments are one in January and one in March. For further details, Julius, you can contact Ms. Bello and their able team at MB Edu-Consultant. They're going to be more than happy to answer you. To Miss Aditi, who has asked me to elaborate on event management. Miss Aditi, you can reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to give you information on one particular course. Since this is a general, seminar, it would be difficult for me with regards to time constraints as well to answer specific questions with regards to one or two, courses. But overall, like I said, event management, sports management, that's a destination. Dubai is a destination for it, especially with regards to multiple events happening, multiple sporting events happening, and large scale sporting events happening, and sports and events being a part of general lifestyle over here because of the high GDP per capita income that people have over here, the luxurious lifestyle that people are used to over here, and that is why sports and events are part of their general lifestyle as well. I hope I've answered both your questions. In fact, if there are more questions, more than happy to answer those. Okay, somebody's asked me, you did not say anything about the master fee? Yes, so master's fee is $5,600 per year. So the 2-year master fee, if you're doing a 2-year program, a 2-year MBA, if you want to do, it's going to be around 11,300, 11,200 for the 2 years. So 5,600 per year. Mr. Martin, I hope I have answered your question as well. There are a couple of more questions. Let me see how many students are currently enrolled. Yeah, so for our different programs, there are multiple students that are there. For our event management, sports management program, normally you have the seats full. We have a capacity of 30 students per batch only available for our current intake. So for our event management, normally it is full. I am not aware about exactly how many students are there, but there are. Sports and event management normally is always full because that's been our traditional programs. Business management, another program which is full from a couple of months prior. Computing, IT, or films and media do have seats available. But you can reach out to us, ma'am. You can reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy. For all the friends from Nigeria, from Africa, you can reach out to Miss Bello and their team at MB Edu-Consultant. They are more than happy to answer you. Their contact details are mentioned over here, their phone number, their Facebook, their social media details, their email ID. You can reach out to them, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to answer those, to answer all your queries and help you with anything that you have. Yes, good afternoon. Please, I'd like to tell us about your postgraduate courses. Okay, my friend. So we have postgraduate courses in 3 streams for now. One is the sports management, one is the events management, and one is the normal MBA, the business management. So currently we have postgraduate programs only in 3 streams. Computing IT doesn't have, master's program in the postgraduate stream. For hospitality, we do have postgraduate program, but it's not a master's program. It's a postgraduate diploma of 2 years that is there. So I hope, Mr. Obiami, I have answered your question with regards to the postgraduate program that we have. So 3 master's program in postgraduate that we have. One is the MA in Strategic Events Management, Strategic Sports Management, and the normal MBA. So all these honors degree you get from our credit transfer arrangement through our partner universities. In UAE, you will be able to get this from University of Bolton, or you can take a transfer to the third country, our partner university there, and complete your honors degree over there. If you just want to do a postgraduate diploma in hospitality, we have that option as well in the postgraduate domain. But for films and media, for teacher training, and for our computing, we don't have any postgraduate options. I hope I've answered you, my friend. So I think we have almost all the queries answered. Ma'am, any questions you would want me to answer, or should we call it a day? Firstly, I'd like to extend my gratitude, ma'am, to you and your whole team for having this at such a short notice and holding this for the benefit of the students. It's our endeavor as well as is yours to kind of make sure maximum number of students are given the maximum amount of information. That is what the whole endeavor of this presentation was, and I hope we've been able to do this. To all the students out there, we are hopeful maximum number of students are going to avail of this COVID scholarship benefit. This COVID scholarship is limited only to October and February intake. So, you can avail of these benefits and kind of enroll yourself as soon as possible, after which, after February onwards, our normal fee structures are going to apply. And that is where, you'll not be able to get these benefits to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Vinit, thanks for having us and thanks for working with us. Well, like I said, we had a lot of meat about Dubai, and we are gradually doing all our best to ensure that we are able to break this myth and see how we can bring in students, especially because of this COVID scholarship.
Yes,
it's really very, very cheap. And I think we will have to do this again. We must have to do this again so that we can do a lot of awareness. Yes, we have to do this again. And I'm sure it's not, you yourself would have seen that there's really a low demand from Nigeria to study in Dubai. In fact, I'm really surprised we had this this number attending the webinar. That's just the truth, because
on the other hand, I'd be I like to say we have a lot of students even for our October intake. I think we have around 13 or 14 students from Nigeria. So from Africa we have quite a lot, but Asia and Africa are two biggest, But from Nigeria itself, this intake we've had, and that is all the visas that I was showing you. Those are actual students who are coming over. That's the visa. Because problem is, ma'am, that students from Nigeria are worried that they are not allowed. They are banned in Dubai. So this information has been going across since a lot of time, since the last couple of months. We've been trying to explain to the students. In fact, the UAE embassy in Nigeria has also given out a statement. And what better, proof than an actual student visa just issued a couple of days back. That is I can't give much more proof than that, than to show a genuine student, a student of Nest Academy itself, and boy, girl, all types of visas. So it's being issued normally. It's as normal as it was previously. Please do not believe us to any of those misinformation that is being spread across, or you are hearing from. You please contact the MD Edu-Consult team. They are the right people. They're going to give you the right information, and not just related to Dubai, but even in general case, they are very trusted people. They are working in the education field since a long time, and they'll be able to guide you well. So please contact them. Their contact details are mentioned over there. Please reach out to them, and we'd be more than happy to. So, Mr. Julius, I think you. A couple of questions, ma'am, if you allow me, I'll answer that.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
What exactly do I need to secure my visa? So firstly, the process works, my friend, as to you send your education documents to the MB Edu-Consult team. They're going to process it first. They're going to send us the admission form. Is going to be held. A Nest Academy representative, our admissions team is going to be testing you, having an interview with you, after which you get your conditional confirmation letter, admission confirmation letter, after which you pay the fees. you just require for your visa, you just require basic documents, your passport, student undertaking that all your information is correct, all your transcripts and other things are correct, and your photograph. Only these things are required, no other thing. Only if you are a minor, if you're less than 18 years, then a no objection certificate from your parents' side is required. Otherwise, no other document is required. We process the visa that are in Dubai. No bank statement, no complex documents. You get your visas, you fly down to Dubai and complete all your remaining formalities over here. As regards to your questions about the fee part of it, yes, we do have installment fee structure as well. Again, you can reach out to the MB Edu-Consult team. They're going to be giving you as to how the fee structure works. You pay a certain amount of fee during admission, then you pay a certain amount of fee depending on which course you have chosen. You pay before flying, and rest you pay, as in even for the first year fee, you have installments where you pay the last 2 installments in January and in March. So you have the installment option available, so you need not worry about paying everything up front. So you can reach out to the MBU Edu-Consult team, and they're going to be helping you out with everything with regards to all the fee structure, the payment structure with regards to master's course or the undergraduate course, or with regards to what are the documents required. So they'll be helping you out. Reach out to them. Feel free to reach out to them, and you'll be more than ably supported.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vinit. And I want to say this is a very good opportunity for us. First, the tuition is very cheap. Secondly, we can all transfer. You can transfer from Dubai to any of those countries listed there. So having a visa denial, Mr. Vinit, if I'm wrong, I beg your pardon to please correct that. You might have had a denial to Canada, Ireland, Australia, and all that, but after interacting with Mr. Vinit, it's almost, though nobody will guarantee visa, because visa is issued at the discretion of the consulate.
Consulate, yes.
Based on the record the institution has, they've had quite a number of students that have transferred from Dubai to other countries. So you can go there, do your 2 years, your 2 years, you can move to UK, do your 2 years, move to Canada. You are saving costs. You are saving costs, and you can also decide to stay back. You still get to benefit what you want to benefit in Canada, in UK, in Ireland, Australia. You can still benefit that in Dubai. So these are so many things. That's why we had to ask Nest Academy to come around, speak with the students, let them hear from you directly. And if at all they have any other issues or questions, you can always reach out to us. We are here. You are on our WhatsApp, our different WhatsApp platforms. You ask your questions there and we answer you. And if you need any assistance, like you all know, we are always ready for you. So, like I said, thank you for having us. And thank you, everybody, all our students or prospective students that found time to attend this webinar. Thanks for your time, your resources, and we hope to do this once more, maybe next month or in 2 months' time. Maybe can we do that in December? Before then, we would have done a lot of advertisements to try to break people's misunderstanding about Dubai. Mr. Vinit, can we do that again, maybe in December or November?
Surely, ma'am. Anytime you let us know, our team is more than happy to kind of give as much information for the students. We are there to service the students, to help the students. So anytime you tell us, just give us a few days notice and we'll be more than happy to be there.
Okay, we'll be glad to do that. So we'll continue running our advertisement. You can always reach out to us at any time, and we meet on our different platforms. So it's wonderful having you all on board. Mr. Vinit, Mr. Prakshik, we'll meet behind the camera again. Thanks so much. Great to work with you.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.